All right, we're just good guys. So back with another video. Today I'm going to be covering every common fitness misconception debunked. So basically, if you know these two guys from Mythbusters, the TV show that used to play, I don't know if they're still around. I haven't seen them in a long time, but this is basically who I am today. These two into one is me today. So we'll put this right here, big screen. So I'm going to be covering things that I used to think were true in fitness and like making progress. And I've come to learn and through experience that it's just truly isn't. Like you truly do not know shit about fitness. And I used to think I knew everything. Genuinely like used to like pride myself in knowing a lot of things about fitness in the gym. But the more years I've been in the gym, the more I can learn and the more experience I have and just learn from the mistakes that I used to make and just doing things working with clients as well. Like I've just learned so much in the past year, especially the past like 8 to 9 months. I've learned so much that goes into this and I want to teach you everything that I basically know. So, I mean, this was me at 19. This was me like shit, like 2 years into the gym and I look pretty skinny. Like I do not have a good physique at all. And then 3 years later, this is me 22 years old today. So I've made a lot of progress, especially in the past 8 to 9 months. I'll show you a little transformation coming up here, like from the past 8 to 9 months. But yeah, why you should listen to me? This video is truly an active service. For me, I started the gym in depends how you look at it, 2020 to 2021. So in 2020, I was lifting at my high school. I was a sophomore and I was taking an advanced conditioning class. That was basically when I first got like pretty consistent with lifting just at school. But then the lockdown happened, like everything shut down, school shut down. I couldn't go to the gym, and I was basically forced to take a break from lifting. And then in 2021, or no, sorry, in 2020, I made these concrete dumbbells. I've mentioned this a lot on this channel, right here with my dad when I was 16, so I could continue lifting in my basement. And then in 2021, got my first gym membership, outside of school, and then I've just been super consistent ever since. And I truly have been through like all the ups and downs in fitness. Like I've been experimenting with everything that goes into this. I've tried all the different diets. I've done carnivore, I've done like the animal based, I've tried like the standard where you don't really track things. I've tried, all the different training styles, all the splits, different rep ranges, doing different amount of sets. Like, dude, I've tried so many things and I've pretty much boiled everything down into what I use today and what I teach my clients as well. And, I've been really obsessed with diet, training, biology, just like learning a lot of different things from a really young age. Like, I remember from a really young age, like, I would never really like to eat sweet treats. I'd always take care of myself physically and like of my health. And now I just take that to another extreme with the gym and making the most progress that I can. So number one, this is the first mistake, is calorie calculators. This is one that's like I don't know if truly people truly believe this, but I have seen other videos on YouTube, kind of like these, the ones that I make, where it's like presenting things that's teaching things about fitness, and I've seen people tell people to use these equations. So it's like multiply your body weight by 10 to 11 to find your deficit to cut, which the problem with that is it's not precise at all. Like it's not individualized to you. And like I always say in fitness, everything should be customized and personalized to the individual because everyone is different. Everyone has different habits in their life, different lifestyles, different weights, different heights, different ways to respond to training. Bro, there's so much that goes into it. You cannot just use a simple, like equation like this to get the best results. So what I truly recommend, this is something that I use myself and for the guys I work with, it's basically just a body weight tracker that it calculates your trends over time. So you put the weight in here, put the calories you're eating here, and then based on these equations on this Excel sheet, you're getting a trend over time. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. I do have another video on this channel about this. I've mentioned this a few times if you watch my other videos as well. So wanted to point that out there. Just it's helped me a ton. Second one is that you cannot lose fat and build muscle at the same time. This is something that I used to think like for so long, especially like until this point right here, which is this was me 9 months ago, and this is me today, like the same picture that you just saw. So that's kind of the transformation I was talking about. I always used to think that you have to cut or bulk, like super black and white. You have to be in a deficit to cut, which is true, or you have to be in a surplus to bulk, which is not true. You can still build muscle in a deficit just based on a few different variables, a few different factors that you can control. But the main thing you need to know is that muscle growth does not rely on a surplus. You can still be in a deficit and grow muscle by eating, like how this works is you eat calories to like adequate calories for recovery needs, but you do not need an automatic surplus to grow. So for example, your recovery need might be, still in a deficit, but you can eat past that need, still be in a deficit, but you're going to grow muscle. And I'm not going to say it's going to be the best muscle growth of your life. Like, yes, I do agree that being in a small calorie deficit or small calorie surplus is the best for pure muscle growth. But if you are in a deficit and if you do want to cut down, if your main goal is to get leaner, then I would definitely incorporate this, especially if you're in like a skinny fat phase and you can build more muscle while burning fats. I would definitely implement this for you just to make the progress way smoother and get to that point where you're lean, but you're also not wasting time just, losing muscle or just retaining muscle when you can be building at the same time. It's something that I used to not know for a long time. And I mean, look at this right here. Like, this was me in May of 2025, so like 9 months ago. Right now it is February 19th, 2026. So this was about 9 months ago. And this is me today. This is what I look like now. So obviously you've seen, like, I am leaner in this one and have more muscle. And the majority of this progress came from being in a deficit. And then more recently I've been, you could say, like main gaining in a way, like a little bit of a calorie surplus, but I can still stay super shredded, super lean, and make the most progress I've ever made in the gym, like hands down in my life. So number three, carbs are bad. So I used to genuinely think that carbs were not good for like exercise and health because I got kind of caught into like the carnivore, like super low carb, super keto diet, which it has its place. Like it just depends on your specific goals. But for me, I was trying to build muscle. I was trying to, do running. I got really into running. I was running like 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, even ran a full marathon untrained, which is pretty insane. But I genuinely used to think that carbs were bad for you. Like I wouldn't, you know, eat them basically at all for like 2 years of my training, like lifting journey. And like if you think carbs make you fat, like it's it's just not true. Like it depends like when you eat them based around your training, which you can bias them more towards muscle growth or fat storage, which obviously you want to bias them more, to use them for muscle. So like I just said, carbs at the wrong times can be stored more as fat. It's basically just like nutrient partitioning, big thing that I teach. And then using carbs for training demand. This is basically how you want to look at it. This is like the correct answer. So just stick to pre and post workout carbs. Pre workout carbs to give yourself immediate energy for the lift. And then post workout carbs are the most important when glucose transporter 4 is at the cell membrane. When you go lift, you translocate GLUT4, which is basically what absorbs glucose to the muscles. So right after your lift, right after your post workout, like in your post workout window, this is when you have the most amount of carbs and they're most absorbed to muscle cells instead of spilling over into fat storage. This is a really, really good thing, really big thing that I've implemented, especially like at this point in my life. This is when I really like locked in on fitness, created my method that I teach now. That's one of the big things that I implemented and changed was timing my carbs correctly and timing insulin and like everything that comes from carbs because it does have a lot of different effects in the body, especially if you know about insulin sensitivity. There's a lot that goes into it, but this is kind of the basic overview of what you want to do. Next up is 10 to 20 sets per week. Like the belief that you need high volume. I used to be in this same boat. Like pretty much all these things I used to think, and I used to put so much time and effort in the gym. Like I would like only focus on the lifting side, like just doing more in the gym when I could have been focusing on so many other areas of my fitness, like diets, like timing meals correctly, like I just mentioned with carbs, like sleep and recovery, like optimizing my hormones, getting my nutrients in place in my diet. Like there's so many like little micro things in fitness that's they don't really take time and effort to get right. They just take applied knowledge and like just knowing what to do. And you can make small little tweaks that make the biggest difference and like they truly stack on top of each other. And that's basically like my training philosophy. So like the moment I changed from high volume, like doing more in the gym, to higher intensity is, the moment that I really truly made the most amount of progress. Like all of these small changes were like at this point right here. Like I truly just started researching so much about like truly making the best progress, and just coming from experience so far, like I know what's worked for me, I know what doesn't work, and seeing it with other people as well, like I can truly be confident in saying that this is the best approach. So currently I do about, sounds kind of crazy, but 5 to 8 sets per week per muscle group. So basically, for example, I can give you like my chest day is super, super basic, super minimal. I'll do an incline dumbbell bench press. Sometimes I'll do barbell. I sometimes switch it up, but not too often. So I'll do that. I'll do 2 sets of incline, and then I'll go to 2 sets of decline. The reason for this is a little bit of a side note, but when you're hitting incline, you're basically hitting the whole chest. So you're hitting, the middle fibers as well. And then you do want to target the decline. That gives it way more of an aesthetic look to kind of like carve out the chest here. Just give yourself the lower muscle fibers a lot of tension so that they separate from the torso, and it just gives you a nice, really aesthetic look. I think I've had the best chest progress very recently once I started doing this way. And all of this is to failure. So if you're going to do lower volume, you really want to make sure you're going to failure, because if not, you're just not going to get the most out of your training. You're not going to stimulate the growth that you need to. Basically, high volume is to leave reps in reserve, which is my next point here. Let's go into this. So reps in reserves, like not going to failure, these two kind of tie in together. Like the most stimulus comes from the last reps. Like think of a set. You're, for example, here you're doing a bicep curl, right? The most amount of growth comes from the last reps that you do in the set. So if you're leaving reps in reserve, you're never getting to that point where you're having the most tension, the most stimulus for growth. And that's why people want you to do more volume, because they just don't go to failure. So you need more volume to stimulate something instead of just taking it to failure from the get-go. But you can spend less time in the gym, less effort doing things, less sets, and get this even better progress like from doing that. Basically, you're just wasting time if you're doing reps in reserve. You're basically making it, essential to do higher volume, which is just, it's there's no benefit in that. Like you cannot convince me that a higher volume reps in reserve approach is going to be better than a lower volume going to failure approach. There's no possible way that is better. And if you can argue that, then feel free to try to convince me, but I just cannot see that being the case. Number 6, I think this one's like pretty more well known now, but I remember there's this one friend that I have, and he trains with like this pro bodybuilder that he used to be a pro bodybuilder, and I remember him saying something about cholesterol being bad, which is like very outdated thing, but I think like the internet and like the health space, kind of like the animal-based things, have really brought this to light, that cholesterol is really not bad. Like you do need cholesterol to make the sex hormones, which is basically converting all this into testosterone, which is like the precursor for everything. So you really want to eat some healthy fats, equal good hormones. So 4 eggs a day should be a staple in your diet. That's going to give you a lot of cholesterol that you need. Also, things like red meats, things like butter, sardines are good, things like that. Like seafood is good, but pretty much things that have like really good cholesterol base, a lot from animal products, those are going to be really good for your testosterone overall. And this is only going to help you build more muscle, lose more fat, have a better physique, better life in general, like more confidence. I, there's not a downside to having more testosterone as a man. So I'd get this in place. If you still believe this, then you're just simply mistaken. Number 7 is just get just get 10K steps per day, 10,000 steps per day. So I'm not going to say this is the worst advice in the world, because I think getting more steps in the day is good for everyone. I'm not going to say this is bad, but I want to reframe how you look at steps in the day versus, calorie expenditure. So what I wrote here, targeted cardio is always going to be more efficient with greater physical benefits than just getting steps in. So what I mean by this, I like to do either like really low intensity running, or more recently I've been doing the elliptical machine at the gym, like right after I go lift. I'll hop on the elliptical for like 20 to 30 minutes and get my cardio done there. And number one, it's way more efficient. Like you're just burning way more calories than just doing a walk. So like let's say in 30 minutes of doing the elliptical, I can burn maybe like 300 calories versus 30 minutes of walking. Dude, I don't even know. You might walk like a mile, you might burn like 100. I'm not sure. I don't really like track that for walks, but you're basically just burning more calories way more efficiently. And if you're doing targeted cardio, it's like I really teach zone 2 cardio, which is the one that has the most benefits for physique, for health, for longevity, just for really everything that you want in your body for your fitness. And like for the scope of what I teach, it's like physique focused, like fat loss, muscle growth. This is all going to be super beneficial for you. Has so many benefits to this because when your heart rate is at 60 to 70%, it's not going to be too intense. You're getting like the mitochondria benefits, having more energy, more vitality. Like the moment I started doing like targeted zone 2 cardio, like running or the elliptical or whatever it is, was the moment that I got so much more energy, just so much more vitality in my life. I just feel way better, in a better mood all day. Just like I can remember not doing cardio, just only focusing on the weights and in the gym. And I was still like, getting steps in. Like I wasn't neglecting moving around and like being active, but I wasn't doing cardio. I wasn't like getting my heart rate up for an extended period of time. And that really truly has an effect on like your brain, your cognition, your energy. There's so many benefits that go into this, and really good for fat loss as well. You're really targeting burning fat in the zone 2 as well. So many benefits to this. I do have a lot of other videos talking about zone 2 cardio, but just know that doing like actual cardio sessions is going to be better than just getting 10K steps per day. And then we have abs are made in the kitchen. So just get leaner. This is probably, I mean, like, yeah, you can get leaner and you can expose your abs more. But if you're not training your abs, you're making a massive mistake in the gym. Abs are the most neglected and arguably the most aesthetic muscle that you have on your body because like I know when I first got like super shredded, I would get so many compliments about my abs. Like people would tell me I'm like so like look so good, like model status. Like I don't want to like toot my own horn, but it's just the reality of having an aesthetic physique that you get. And abs are such a big part of it. If I didn't have a midsection here, like I would look good, but it just makes it so much more appealing and just like so much better, just like overall for the aesthetic. So really all I do for abs is I train them 2 times a week on a crunch machine. So I really don't like to do the like 5 minute abs or like 8 minute abs, like the circuits that you do. I used to do those like the body weight things. I used to do those for years. And I did make good progress because I was doing it very consistently. I also used to run track and cross country in school, and every single practice we would do a core workout every single day. So that really built the foundation for my core and my abs. But nowadays, I can do like literally 4 minutes per week of abs. I do 2 sets 2 times per week on the crunch machine. Each set takes me about a minute, and I've made the most progress doing that. It's just progressive overload. Treat it like any other muscle. You just want to get stronger on a lift for it. I found that the crunch machine is the best for me. If you don't have a crunch machine, you could do leg raises and like crunches as well with some weight. I know you can do like cable crunches as well. I've never really done those. I've always stuck to the crunch machine. It's just always been the best for me. But yeah, truly you do not need to just get leaner. You do want to train your abs because they're like any other muscle. So like if you're lean but you don't have developed abs, you're just not going to look good. And it's one of the biggest things that you can change in your physique if you're not even training them. If you are, then good. Like you should be doing it. But if you're not, you could definitely add that in. 4 minutes a week. Like, do you not have 4 minutes a week in the gym? I think you do. So yeah, that's really it for this video. If you have any questions on this, you can DM me on Instagram. Instagram has been popping off recently. I'm about to hit, I think, 3,000 followers on there. So go check that out if you don't follow me already. I'm always posting like things that I do throughout the day, my stories, other short form reels. And then if you do want to work with me one-on-one, I do take on fitness coaching clients. So I'll leave the link in the description to book on my calendar. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.